So last episode, Curly Joe, and the Swashbuckler, were having a good talk and stuff, and apparently Glenn, Farfinger, and the Abbot walk in. Oh, it's good we've seen you two. We weren't really sure what had happened to you, Curly Joe. Oh, good, Joe. It's good to see you. Aye, it's good to see you too. I'm glad, so happy you're back. I found this fortress and it's got all this data and weird stuff, and I think I may even walk by Dark Milo and them. And wow, oh well, we don't want to really get involved with that, I think, but well, maybe we do. Maybe we want to confront Milo and you know, well, Abbott, you seem to have some real strategies and plans that me and Joe don't think of normally. Well, sometimes you have to think outside the box. They debate how to find Milo in this weird world, and Swashbuckler tells him not to. Because he's Milo's minion. He's a fictitious character created by, Milo and his friends, so obviously he's biased. Well, I see you two are asking about how to find this Milo. I really, be honest with you, I think you should. He's our governor here in this world, and very trusted man, a very, very sound, good, strong man. I think you sound like a hack to me. I think we should kick his butt. Oh no! You're threatening violence against a swashbuckler. I just think he's just trying to warn us a little bit. He's trying to warn us a little bit about, about the risks of things. We should respect a little bit of what he's talking about. And the swashbuckler leaves. Of course, what I'm really saying is we gotta find Dark Milo, and I do understand, guys, that the characters of this world are fictitious, and they are also probably written in the background by Sir William Esquire and Dark Milo, so they're very biased. We'll take that warning, Abbott. An alarm goes off, and Joe wonders where they can hide. Oh no! Oh no! I wonder where we can hide. And the Abbot tells them, "Listen, let's not hide. They will take us to Milo." And the Aunt Jemina show up. They request a meeting with Dark Milo. Excuse me, Aunt Jeminas, before you formally arrest us, I request a meeting with Dark Milo. A door opens, and the PA of Milo greets him. Greetings, and salutations. Welcome, friends. It's time for us to have a good little meeting. Especially you, Abbott. You've been a bit of a pain in my butt. I know you used to hang out with Freighter, and that makes me have a definite hatred of you. Anything to do with that man. As for Glenn and Joe, well, I need you just like a chess player needs his pawns. So you will come forward, and we'll make you right at home. Oh, Dark Milo, that was a real funny one. Excuse me? What is it, Sir William Esquire? What's he talking about? Was there a joke you said, or? See, like usually in TV shows and stuff, when the heroes are caught, we do this. We do like welcome here to your home. I'm sure you'll find it comfortable. Oh, Dark Milo, you did it again! It's so funny. I love you. I do a lot. No, see, Sir William Esquire, see, like you don't understand. Don't, you're getting quiet. Why are you getting quiet? You're freaking me out here. Um, I don't understand this. This is not comedy. I'm like, but this guy, he's like in love with you now. Like, is this how you riz men or something? I'm not a gay man. I'm not a gay man. Look, man, it's just the way we do things. Like, have you watched enough television? Well, technically, I'm a quantum computer. No, and oh boy. Sergeant, we're gonna have to talk to William here off camera about these things, how we do it, all the build up and stuff, and understand, that you don't love me that way, that actually it's just you're being a very professional lackey, that it's not like that. Even though in 2023 that would be alright in the West, but you know what I mean. Yeah. Oh, Darth Maul, it's a good point. It's a very good point, man. Very good point. We'll talk to Sir William Esquire off camera. Yeah, they could go have the Aunt Jemimas take him in the room, and then they could play the game and stuff. Because it's still a gaming show. We can still play video games. So let's do that. Well, Joe, we are playing Ratchet and Clank. I'll see you. I noticed that you named the file Rat Clank. Joe, remember what we talked about last episode? My brain has a tendency to go, okay, let's play Jack and Dexter. It's like, stop it. It's like, I know you never played it during the PS2 era. I know you never played any of that stuff during even the PS3 era. So, yeah, it's understandable, Boomer. You don't understand what you're playing. Well, wait a second. Wasn't that kind of like it almost looked kind of like a Kylo Ren TIE fighter thing, like we kind of ripping that off, like, oh, well, that's not cool, ripping off a Disney Star Wars movie. That's kind of bad. How it is really bad. That's really stupid. Graphics, the graphics in this are really good, really smooth, and you got the like freaking like uh-oh. I can't. You could kind of tell when it comes to kids stuff, we don't watch any kids stuff. We're trying to think of like Monsters Incorporated or something like that, or like Pixel. I can't remember. We don't really watch that stuff. It's not very manly. Joe, it just isn't. We watch wrestling. We watch wrestling. We're watching like late 90s WCW, and I'm sorry to say we're not caught up on the Disney stuff. We're not caught up on like, oh, is it up, down, left, right, or is it what is the latest animated movie, or this is we're doing this for the channel, because we also are into the technology. Like I could see Mr. Pennypacker, he would be like, well, we're into this character looks like someone's like assistant special ed teacher. It kind of does look like an assistant special ed teacher. She's like, I deal with a lot with these kids. They got problems, but of course now all the special ed students are these robots. Oh boy, we're gonna get in a lot of trouble with our imagination. But yeah, so this guy's kind of like, what's going on? I got the big floppy ears. So, I guess this is Clank, right? Or what's his Ratchet? Joe, you're literally talking to a boomer. I don't know. I just know that this is very beautiful. And again, like we were going to say before we riffed this, that sometimes we get a game like, that, kind of is a good tech demo of the console, and this is basically it. Of course, it's funny because you would think, oh, you were probably playing this on a 4K TV with HDR, and oh no, we were playing on a shitty little TV for a $128 TV that has all the plugins. You could even put in RF, and you can put all kinds of stuff in, and cable, everything you can imagine, and a little TV. And guess what? Our eyes are boomer eyes. We don't really notice because we played NES for years, and Genesis, and any kind of thing. We've crappy VHS. So this looks like gold even on a 1080p TV, for cry out loud, guys. It still looks good. I'm sure on that, well, you just mentioned it. I'm sure on that it must be gorgeous, but I'm glad we're not like that, because that's a lot more money to spend. Some people are like, you think about it, that's crazy. Like, when a new console comes out, they're like $500. Well, they're $500, Joe. And then also add with this console, it took literally 2 years before we owned this. So there is probably a possibility, if you really, really wanted to be that guy who gets this like literally within the first 3 or 4 months, you had to pony up over $1,000 to a reseller. Mr. Pennypacker has confessed he kind of did that with the Xbox Series X. And I know you're going to say, what? And it's because he said he got confused because he went to Newegg, because he went to a site that would tell you when, like, the consoles would become available. And so he said he had a boomer moment where he accidentally bought from a reseller from Los Angeles. But the console still works good. We work with it daily, and it works great. And anything happened, of course, then at least that system is more plentiful than, say, the PlayStation 5. PlayStation 5, you almost have to, like, wait in line at Amazon. That's actually how we got this. We got the PlayStation 5 by going on Amazon, and you get like a ticket, and then they'll eventually alert you when it's your turn to buy it, which is a great system, and that's the way it should be, because the resellers are just the resellers actually in a way killed themselves, because they were in the money, they were making a fortune, but the only problem was they didn't know when to stop. They probably, after about 6 months, should have probably just stopped buying the consoles and just sell their stock. Stop buying more consoles. Just stop after 6 months, because they made their money. They should just let them, refill at the stores. And you know what ended up happening, Joe? They ended up basically ended up with a lot of box consoles that they weren't able to sell at the prices they were doing, because once the virus. Try not to get that stupid Wikipedia article entry under our video. Didn't you say that Mr. Pennypacker hacked his computer so that that thing's just like a green bar now. Yes, he says, I'm not going to have that on my computer. Anytime I look up, you can't even say certain words because it'll just trigger the algo bot. That little algo bot. The little YouTube algo bot. And she just goes crazy. She just like, oh, I got to put the Wikipedia article because you mentioned this. Unless we really say it in a stupid voice and it doesn't understand. Well, Joe, you better be careful. I've literally heard of a guy who got his account terminated because his Scottish accent was so thick. The algo bot thought it was he was saying a lot of racist stuff, and it terminated his account. Like it just nuked his account. And when he tried to like get them to like undo it, they just decided, nah. I don't know. Maybe they must have realized that whatever this guy would put out, it would just keep flagging him, and they just said maybe it wouldn't be worth her time to deal with you, and sorry you have a Scottish accent. Maybe go for voice therapy or something, or we haven't been talking about the game, but it's beautiful. It runs well. It flows well. Good action. Very good action. It's good stuff. And there's nothing to complain about. It's what this reminds me of is when Knack came out. Knack was kind of like this, where it was the first time really experimenting with Knack. With Knack, it was the first time experimenting with like little pieces flying everywhere. Of course, this here is like that on steroids, but that's the great shading you can see. Like you see how the lighting is on his face. It's good stuff. I like that. I do admit though, look, let's be a little honest. This is not exactly a Saturngrad game. This is not something we're going to keep going back to, but it's there. We can do it, and we just did it because we wanted to give the PlayStation 5, we wanted to test it at its fullest. And I know, of course, after we got this, we started to kind of go, well, should we eventually get the virtual reality thing? And it's kind of like, I don't know. Mr. Pennypacker's not here, so he's missing in action, and I don't know when we're gonna see him. And Abbott here, he hasn't ever really played games. He hanged around Freighter, so he has some knowledge. Obviously, he knew what the Contra code was, so that's a good sign. And otherwise, I wouldn't be right here right now if it wasn't for that. So. He's not here for the game right now. He's busy. He's busy planning and writing and figure of his next steps against Milo, and that's fine. Although I kind of wonder what he will, because he probably will become the main host eventually. I mean, I'm just saying, he's a jack of all trades. That's always the thing that's the scariest thing as a game show host, to know that you got a jack of all trades on your show, because basically the writers just go, holy cow, we can have him be both the straight man and the crazy guy. We just shot at that poor guy. He's just waving at us. And, okay, it's asking us to glide. So, this is actually something, all games started to do, especially after Breath of the Wild, because that was really popular, the whole gliding thing. And again, I know someone can say, you're going to do the new Zelda, you can't stream it, don't know how to stream it. You got to get some kind of capture card. Oh, got to spend money. We have a mini PC, so does that mean there's like something we can like plug into that? And then, I don't know. I don't care. The Switch is a couple years old now. It's not even like the most up-to-date thing. I mean, there's more rumors all the time, guys, that they're going to come out with some new console eventually. So, unfortunately, by the time this video comes out, though, I'm laughing now thinking about it and sort of slapping myself in the head that there probably will be a new Nintendo Switch, and we just don't know. But you need to understand the time we recorded this. We had spent over the last 2 years having people go, oh, well, there will be a new console coming out, new Nintendo Switch coming. They're working on it, and it just never happened. I think they make too much money on this, and they're like, well, usually what they do is they wait until the console sales actually slow. Once they slow, then they can... once the console sales slow, then they can actually stop doing that. So, time's been flying, though. I mean, I have to admit, we've been able to commentate over this quite well. Sometimes if it's not a game we're really into, we just sort of go, uh-oh, we're running out of things to talk about. And usually that's a good sign that we're just kind of keep going like this. It's not, a lot of people would say, I could do that. I could talk for 20 minutes straight. Well, I don't know, man. I run into people all the time on YouTube and Twitch and whatever, There's lots of dead air, It's just hard to talk all the time. And the little robot, I still haven't quite figured out entirely what all the little robot does. Because in the gameplay segments, he really just sits on your back. He doesn't really actually do anything. I'm sure, of course, it has to do with he's a co-op character. When you play second player, and you're the two characters, obviously. Of course, you got this Brainiac character right here, and like I said, this is kind of a kid game, and we're not really. This is not really our thing, but we're doing it for the tech. We're doing it for the to just look at the place, especially the launch games of the PlayStation 5 and stuff, because PlayStation 5, as far as first-party games, let's be honest, there's been a lot of criticism of it. It's the first-party games have been kind of slow, so it's been kind of slow. So anything that is there, you want to play it because you don't want your system to be collecting dust. So it's a good way to force people who normally don't play something to play it, because otherwise you don't got anything for your system. It show's just about over for now. We're doing this little bit of a action sequence here. It's pretty cool, especially when you go back to commentate over it. So when you're playing it, you're trying to focus on just you're trying not to mentally be oh, my eyes, and then of course you don't even notice that your character just got killed. So but watching back, I'm really impressed by the graphics, and that's about as next gen as you can get. You remember back in the days when if there was full motion cutscenes, that was a big deal. Well, what they used to do, Joe, is they would take a 2D game that isn't really anything anything really out of control for the Sega Genesis, but then for the Sega CD, they would just they would do two things. They would improve the music. The music generally on the Sega CD was very good. Really good, nice, quality music, but then they would add these full motion cutscenes to to really like be like whoa, like well, that was the way it was. And well, we're done here for the show, and we'll be back next time. See you then.